Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody, wherever you are. Welcome to another edition of SaaS Snippets with me, Stuart Wallop of Differentiate Consulting. Now, I've been compelled to make a video this week because we've seen the release of a great little feature in Qlik Enterprise SaaS called Application Automation, but also we've just been hit with another great one as well called Impact Analysis, which is all about data lineage. So the two things that I'm going to talk about today, I'm just show you a quick demo of, is number one, application automation. Now, there's a lot you can do with this, but we're going to keep it demo simple for today, in that we're just going to show how to do change reload on different tasks. Now, those of you that had used Qlik SaaS in the past, or perhaps come from a Qlik Enterprise environment, or you're just not used to the new environment yet, you'll notice in SaaS the reload scheduler was a little bit lightweight initially. So you can now do these wonderful chained reloads using application automation in Qlik SaaS. I'm going to show you that today. So the second part of the video is also going to be a demo of Qlik's brand new feature called Impact Analysis. So Impact Analysis talks all about data lineage. So we need to understand the origin of our data, where it comes from, how it gets there, and how it gets into these end user apps, because that breeds confidence. That allows us to make better decisions across the business ultimately. So to see how that data gets refined from when it's initially extracted into its end user environment is absolutely critical, and is a fantastic addition to Qlik SaaS. So I'm going to show you how both of those work together today in a short Qlik video. So I will just slip my Qlik environment. As you can see, I'm at the home page now, and we'll look at a little bit of application automation first by performing a chain reload. So all we need to do is go to the right hand side. We'll see the relatively new option here called new automation, which allows us to create these new chain reloads. So when I press on the new automation, it will ask me to give a name. So we will put chain reload demo. And if you like, you can give it a description. I suggest you do when you're in an enterprise environment. This is a demo, I'll just leave it blank. And you can also choose different icons, one or two of them, and then click save. So once you've clicked save, you've just created a blank new automation template. And this is where you get started from. So we're at the start point here, and what we want to do is we want to reload an app that extracts data and transforms it and stores it in QVDs, and then straight away we want to kick off the front-end application which loads that data from the QVDs. So it's pretty simple, drag and drop, no real coding involved here at all. So we're going to just look at Qlik Cloud Services and what it has to offer. So if I just click on that now, it gives me lots of options to create apps, create measures. There is a lot you can do with this, guys. We're just keeping it simple for today. We'll be releasing some more content soon on how you can do more stuff with it. For now, we're just going to do a reload. So I'll just do a nice search there, and I can see the option that I want here was an item called do reload. So I simply just left click and drag and drop that onto the workflow or automation. And you can see that that is now linked to the start. So when this kicks off, this is going to do something. Over on the right hand side, we're looking at input settings and history. And I just simply want to reload an app. So I can do that by selecting the app ID from my environment. The great thing is I've got a lot of stuff on my SaaS environment. I can search by name. So if I'm just looking for a transform app, transform data layer is the one that I want. And then I'll just select the run mode, which in this case, and usually what I do anyway, is wait for that reload to complete before moving on to the next steps. Because you can set timeouts on there as well, and a whole host of other options, which we'll go into detail on another video. But that is as simple as it is. So that is starting a reload now. I then want to add another reload on there, which is the reload of the front-end application. So again, I just simply drag a new reload on there, select my app ID. In this case, I want to find my front-end user app, which loads that data from QVDs. And this is the one that I want, San Francisco Wireless Towers. It's one of my demo apps. And again, let's wait for that reload to complete. Okay, so that's simple as. What I like to do as well is also like to add comments. So when I come back to my automation, I can actually see what it's doing and maybe just create myself a little narrative, just so I know exactly what's going on. So this would be to extract initial data, store as QVD. You can be as descriptive as you want. And then maybe in the next one, we might just want to put a comment in there that says, reload end user application, and we'll call it San Francisco, because that's what the app is about. So then click save, and that's it basically. Now again, for another video, because I want to show you the impact analysis working alongside with this, you can do things like if the reload fails, you can send out a Teams message to a Teams channel and all sorts of things. But there's a lot of content there, and we're just going to simply run the workflow now. So when we click run, it'll go away and do its thing, and you can see there that it's running now, and it will time it. So it's loading a good chunk of data into QlikSense, and you can see that it's finished after just 5 seconds, and we can see the different blocks that we've built and what actually happened, whether it was executed. That can be viewed chronologically, for example, in order, so you can see the start time and the end time there. Any errors that were thrown up, you can actually see those in the reload as well. And also you can see some handy little metrics as well. So for example, how much data was actually received, how much data was transmitted out as well. But that is all done. And I can now save that, and it's already run. And simple, that's how we do a chain reload. So how do we now look at that reload, and how do we actually see the flow of that data? How do we view our data pipeline? Well, that is where impact analysis comes in. So I'm just going to pop back to my Qlik homepage at the moment. And I tend to put a few demo things in collections. So we've got an impact analysis demo here. So if I just click on what's actually happening in here, what we've got is we've got some QVDs, we've got some spreadsheets that are in another space, and we've got that transform data layer app that I put in my workflow, and the San Francisco Wireless Towers app as well. Now, how do I see that data lineage? How do I easily view that? Well, you can do it a number of ways. Probably the easiest way of doing it is clicking on any one of the apps and clicking on impact analysis. So this is a brand new feature here that's in Qlik SaaS. I click on impact analysis, and this is just great. We can actually see the full lineage of that data transformation app, which is really, really good. So what we can see here is all of the elements that were involved in that chained reload. So right back to my data, which is a couple of Excel spreadsheets stored in a space. And what we can now do is just on the right hand side, you can see some fairly limited kind of things that you can do with it. We can see that the data is involved there, and it goes to the transform data layer. If I want, I can click open data set, so I can preview that data, and it'll also tell me where that data resides. So in this case, that source data was in my personal space. I owned it, I created it, and it was last modified an hour ago. And that's the same for the other one. So we had 2 data sources coming in. This transform data layer here gives you some slightly different options again. We can see that that's brought that in there. If you want, you can just go in and you can open that up and take a further look. And you can see a description of the app. So this is, again, another lesson. We talk about description and tags in Qlik's Enterprise SaaS. Do add descriptions and tags in everything that you do, because it does make your life easier further down the line. But anyway, that's where the app sits. You can see where that sits in my space. And again, you can see those dependencies. And you can see the filters across the top. You can see if I click on input, it will just show the input files that were there and that's involved. And the outputs, it will actually show the transform data layer, the QVDs that were output because of that workflow, and then the front-end user application. So that is essentially data lineage. That really starts to give organizations confidence that they know where their data is coming from. One of the old sayings was data is the new oil, right? Okay, probably a little bit old hat, and anyone who works in data has heard that. I like to say the data is the new water, because like water, everybody needs it. It's the lifeblood of everything. But to actually drink fresh water, you've got to know where that water comes from, how it's refined. So when it gets to the other end and comes out your tap, it's got to be in a usable, tasty, drinkable format. And to me, that's exactly how I see data. Data is ultimately useless if you don't know where it's from and you don't have the confidence to use it, because people will not adopt your applications. People will not adopt BI if they cannot trust the data. So with application automation and plugging that into impact analysis, that really is a massive step forward for QlikSense. And that's it. That's the demo. Thank you very much for watching. Always great. Any comments? Watch out for more videos. Let me know, hook me up with LinkedIn, and email me at stuart.wannop@differentiate.consulting if you want to talk further. Thank you and goodbye.